Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the Low Budget Livestream. As always, I am your host, the real Gino Reynolds, and you know how this routine works. If you've been here before, if you got something you want to talk about, put it in the chat. I don't have any real subjects for today. I've got a couple of things I want to talk about, but nothing really that important. No real big live life things happened. So it's not going to be as dramatic as last time. But if you guys got anything you want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat. I'm fairly caught up on trailers and everything. So if you want to know thoughts on trailers, things like that, it's AMA rules. Ask me anything within reason, of course. Uh, we can talk about just about anything you guys want to. We'll see how today goes. I've been dealing with a migraine today. It's doing okay right now, so uh, we'll see how this goes. One little story I wanted to tell. This happened a week or two ago. I was coming home from a movie. I don't remember which one, and uh, let me ask you this: I don't have a problem with people smoking. I mean, it's if you want to do it, that's fine. But how? What would you do if you really needed a light? Because I witnessed something the other day. Uh, I witnessed something the other day that I never thought I would see. I'm coming home from a movie and I'm about halfway home and I'm coming up on this stoplight and there's a truck uh, in the lane to the right of me and a car right in front of me when I'm stopping. All of a sudden, one of the people in the car, there's like three or four people in the car. One of the people in the car gets out and starts twerking for the dude in the truck. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on here? So she's twerking for him. And I'm just sitting there, just, is this really happening right now? And then all of a sudden she stops and she puts a cigarette in her mouth. The guy lights a cigarette for her. Okay. And then she twerks for him again. And I'm like, she must have needed a light really bad. Um, so I'm just sitting there, just in my mind, I'm trying to imagine uh how did this transaction go? Did she just say, "Hey, buddy, you got a light?" And he said, "Yeah," and she got out and just did that for him out of thanks? Did she said, "Hey, buddy, you got a light?" And he said, "Well, if you shake that butt for me." Um, and then she did, and then gave light, and then she gave him a tip. I don't know, but it was just one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life. And I know that's not like some life altering story, but I just witnessed that the other day and thought, what is going on in front of me? And the girl that twerked looked at me a couple times, and I'm just sitting there going, I'm just sitting there. I'm not even knowing how to react to it other than, please, will the light please just turn green, so I can go home. And so I don't know. I just thought I'd share that with you guys because I got a good laugh out of it afterward, just with the absurdity of it all. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to follow that. But anyway, I'm going to go through the chat here, and I got a few things I'm going to bring up later. Uh, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little story, that little opening tale. Um, Let me scroll up here. Bryston joins us, says, okay, I'm not in a tough at all about the Little Mermaid casting. Neither am I. But Javier Bardem seems to be a really odd choice for King Titan. I had not heard that. If the film has good music, it can be good, but Aladdin was meh. Yeah, Aladdin was Aladdin. I mean, what the only changes were they wanted her to become Sultan, and then there was the love story for the genie. That was about it. And The Lion King, oh, it continues, is the exact same movie pretty much. I'm seeing that tomorrow. My problem with Lion King is it's my favorite Disney animated Disney movie. So I really want it to be good, but I'm afraid it's going to be too similar. They aren't going to, a lot of people complain if they either change too much or if they don't change enough. I want them to have, if they're going to be the same, I want it to be amazing enough, like with either, well, live action, or in this case, the 3D animation. I want it to be good, and I want the performances to be good to make it worth it. I'm not just going to instantly put it down because you're trying to remake my favorite animated Lion King movie. But that being said, I if they're going to change things, I want it to be worthwhile changes. I thought the song they added to Aladdin was, I don't want to say it was cringy, but it was a little cringy. It felt really forced, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I mean, the idea is not bad, and the love story wasn't bad. I didn't hate Aladdin at all. Um, but I don't think the stuff they changed really made that much of a difference. It just still felt like Aladdin. I mean, yeah, the genie definitely, like, as how Robin Williams put a lot of himself into the genie. Uh, Will Smith put a lot of himself into the genie whenever he sang and things like that. So, I mean, I just don't think they changed enough for it to really matter. Um, but yeah, with the Little Mermaid, other than the soundtrack, which I've mentioned before that we sang in chorus one year in high school for our like big performance, I don't have a real big love for the Little Mermaid. I don't dislike the movie or anything. It just doesn't. It doesn't really do it for me. I've seen it. It's fine. I understand why some people connect to it. I really like Ursula a lot as a villain, and I like Sebastian a lot, especially because we got to sing Under the Sea when we did the performance and everything. So, and that was a fun song to sing. Um, but yeah, I don't have this big connection to it. So, I'd like to see him try some different things with it. I mean, the story of the Little Mermaid, it's like this. Okay, Ursula said, you're not going to be able to speak, but you got to make them fall in love with you or whatever. And then Ariel signs her name on the piece of paper or on the contract. So she knows how to write, and she can't just write on a piece of paper for the dude, "Hey, my name is Ariel. This is what's going on." I don't know. But so that part of the story always bothered me a little bit. But yeah, I'm fine with the casting stuff. Just give me a good movie. That's all I ask. And if you're gonna change stuff, change it to where it matters. Um, Bill says there's a live action Barbie movie coming in 2020 starring Margot Robbie. No, boy, it sounds like a winner. You know, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I am totally invested in a Barbie movie, but you put Margot Robbie in it. I mean, that's not a terrible choice. Um, so at least, that casting's good. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with it. I mean, is it going to be like some of the cheesier cartoon movies they've done before? Or are they going to try to actually do something with it? I don't know. I haven't really read up about it. That's all I've heard is Margot Robbie was in it. So, yeah, we'll see. I'll be seeing it, I'm sure. Bryson says in documentaries, there's going to be a Super Size Me 2 based off fast food chicken because who knows? Morgan Spurlock is a manipulative filmmaker and seems to be a POS, history of sexual misconduct. Yeah, I'd heard a little bit about that. Yeah, Super Size Me itself was it played a little dirty, and I hadn't discovered all the stuff that people had put together until a few years later after seeing it. But even just watching it, there were times like during his dinners, he was drinking 2 large Cokes and things like that. And all that stuff's going to add up. And, I I don't know. I just the way that documentary worked, it just felt like he was stacking the deck against McDonald's and not if he would have done it straight up and fair, I would have had a little more respect for that movie. But you could just tell he was stacking the deck. Um, of course, it caused McDonald's to take the supersized stuff off. I'm honestly surprised they never brought it back. I mean, with they still have double quarter pounders. They still have they're adding bacon to everything now and things like that. But they never brought the supersize back. I mean, it was just a marketing nightmare for him. But that movie was so many years ago now. I figured they would bring it back by now. But yeah, I'm not really looking forward to Super Size Me 2. So yeah, and then I heard that he had done some things, but I mean, I don't know what kind of proof there is. I didn't really research it a ton, but anyway. Zepster joins us. How you doing, bud? Falls downstairs, hitting every single step on his way down. Sup? And he also says twerking isn't a recognizable currency. Yeah, I just thought that was a weird way to pay for a light for a cigarette. That's all. Bill says twerking for a living. Bryson says twerking out of the truck. What in the meth mile is happening in the Midwest? Don't ask. Careful, they may start using wasp spray like they do in West Virginia there. Yeah, it was just such a weird. I've seen some weird things in my life, and that was. I'm not going to say it's going to be the top of the weird scale, but having someone twerk for a light for a cigarette, it's like, look, I know some people love their nicotine, and if they do, they do. But man, if you need a light that bad, I don't know. Rob joins us from Smirking Gun Reviews. Gentlemen, ladies, Gino, how's everyone doing? We're doing all right here, as far as I know. And I'm glad he could join us. He told me he was going to join us earlier, or told me on Twitter he's going to join us earlier. And I believe he said he was going to be playing a game at the same time. So I can't remember which one he said he's going to be playing. Let's see, where was I? There we go. Bryson says, pretty good, though. I'm doing full route sheets for my job since the logistics manager got injured. Desiree says, hello. Let's see. Rob says, just chilling. Bill says, the creators of Game of Thrones won't be appearing at Comic-Con. My theory is they simply just forgot about it halfway through the trip. My feeling is they don't want to show up to Comic-Con because they don't want to get booed out of the building. That's probably why they're not showing up. I mean, just look at the Emmy nods. Now, I will not disagree with a lot of the acting Emmy nods that Game of Thrones got, and which that's honestly, I think, a lot of the nods that they got. I mean, the performances in the final season of Game of Thrones were mostly pretty good. I mean, they made Tyrion a moron for some reason. But I mean, someone like Gwendolyn Christie, I mean, she gave that show her all, even through the final season. And if she were to win, she's up for Best Supporting, I think, for the Emmys. I could see her winning, and I would be happy about it. I mean, where's my Rory McCann nomination? I mean, come on, The Hound. The Hound is awesome. But anyway, so when it comes to performance size, I'm not angry, but when it comes to it being up for the best of the year in drama, I'm like, and I have a feeling it's going to win because they're going to be just kind of like with Lord of the Rings. I think they're going to kind of be rewarding it for the entire thing. And yeah, it's why another reason why I don't do award shows. But yeah, the creators of Game of Thrones are probably going to say, well, we're not going to Comic-Con because we're working on this, Star Wars, and that. No, you're not showing up because you don't want to get booed out of the building. Because, I mean, of course, they're going to be the ones that get blamed the most for the way that final season went. Let's see. Bryson says, Gino, if your favorite character was Rafiki, you'll be disappointed. Rafiki has no personality. Oh, so you have seen it? Okay. I knew they had a screening. I wasn't able to go. Rafiki has no personality, especially being a photorealistic baboon. His humor is gone. Be Prepared by Scar was shortened. Oh, see, I heard they didn't even do Be Prepared, which Scar is my favorite character from The Lion King. He's my favorite Disney villain. Without Scar, that movie, I'm not going to say it won't work, but Scar is such a good villain that he makes our hero step up. And I heard Be Prepared. Be Prepared is my favorite song. I mean, I know it's a weird and creepy thing to say because that thing almost symbolizes, it shows how evil Scar really is why it just makes him such a good bad guy. Just singing that song, and it's like, the hyenas basically become the Nazis. And so it's just, I love how they set him up as a villain in that. And I didn't know Be Prepared was even in it. So I'm happy to hear it was at least in it. But yeah, that makes me sad that Rafiki was awesome. I loved Rafiki. I loved just about every character in that movie. So that's what I'm going to do my best when I review it, not to compare it too much to the animated version, but there's almost no way to not, because it is a remake of. So yeah, I'm seeing it tomorrow, and I want it to be good, but I'm hoping I can find good out of it even if I don't enjoy it. But from what I'm hearing, they don't change enough to make it worth it. But I'm curious. I am really curious, at least. But that's sad that's sad if they took away the humor of Rafiki, because Rafiki was a really fun character. Bryson also says, for everyone that has HBO, Los Spookies is a gem. I just started to watch. It's a lot of fun. I'm way backlogged to start a new show. I'm still behind on like 6 shows, which is really sad. And Rob says, "What's up, Desiree?" Desiree says, "Hey, Rob, dying of the dang heat down here. Almost had a heat stroke yesterday. It's been pretty warm up here too, but you're in Texas, so you have my sympathy." Let's see. Paul says, "Wonder will there be a Timon and Pumbaa spinoff from The Lion King? God, I hope not." One of my, for as much as I love The Lion King, and people give crap to The Lion King 2, I didn't think it was as bad as everyone thought it was. It's not a great movie. It's not The Lion King, but 2 at least fit the universe. What really ticked me off about that Lion King 1.5 was that it took everything about the Lion King and made it a joke. Oh no, they weren't bowing to the king. They were covering their noses because Pumbaa farted, and things like that. And it's like, because they were there and then they moved to their place and then they came back. God, I hated that movie so much. I know I've been ticked at some Disney movies before, but that one really, really got on my nerves. So God, I hope they don't do a spinoff. Rob says, Nino Cooney, but not live stream. It's Pokemon for people who hate Pokemon. That makes me curious. Let's see. Desiree says, Nino Cooney is adorable as hell. Miyazaki kicked ass with that game. Bryce says, Game Freak has legit messed up IMO. I get that not every Pokemon can be in Sword and Shield, but just saying that the entire lineup will never be seen in a new game, that makes them seem incompetent. Let's see. Johnny Burr says, "Yay!" Desiree says, "I'm sure Game Freak will backtrack. People worked hard to carry over Pokemon over the years. I I got an almost complete Pokédex. I always wish I knew more about Pokemon. Um, if anyone can explain to me what you guys are talking about, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, I Pokemon was just becoming a thing after I kind of passed. I was starting, I think, to get into college and everything when that was happening. So I really didn't get into Pokemon. My kids watch it and they like it. I know what I know from the cartoon. Um, that's about it. Um, let's see, where was I? Bill says Polka Dot Man and a female rat catcher are said to be appearing in James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Yeah, I really hope he brings in some odd characters. I can't remember. They're getting a lot of the people back. No Will Smith. Um, and then who else did I remember them getting? Was it Idris Elba? They're thinking he's going to be. Now I can't remember can't remember the character's name now, so you have to forgive me again. I got a headache. But I know that he picked up a few people for it. Sorry, why I looked this up here. Yeah, Michael Rooker, I think, supposed to be King Shark, which I like that. But yeah, I'm wanting to see some really odd characters. I mean, if you're gonna let James Gunn handle Suicide Squad, just let him handle. I mean, again, look what he did with Guardians. So yeah, I'm really hoping he gets to get weird with it. Rob says, I heard that The Lion King was great in the 90s. It's being said that it's a shot for shot remake mostly, so nah, hard pass. I saw where someone did a side by side. Someone had filmed a little bit of a screening the other day. It was like the shot was, Dutch angled, because of course they're having to hide their phone trying to film it, but it was the shot where, spoiler alert, Scar kills Mufasa. And they change it from him clawing his hands to just whacking him in the head. And I'm just like, wow, that's fantastic. Because I mean, that's just it. If they get Scar wrong in this, it's really gonna hurt it for me. Let's see. Bryson says, if they do make a Timon and Pumbaa spinoff, it could be interesting. Everyone wants them to be more LeFou because men just can't be friends in 2019. Not that I care, but it's getting old on Twitter. Yeah. I'll just say this. I don't care who wants to be with who, but why do the stories have to change? Come up with something new. I mean, everyone for years argued about Bert and Ernie, and it was, when everyone that worked on it come out and said, no, they're friends. Why can't they just be roommates? Does it have to be this? And it just doesn't. I would rather see something like Sesame Street create new characters that represent these other things, instead of, well, we have to change the past. I mean, yes, there's some things in the past that you should probably rewrite, but not when it's just, let's force something onto something. If something is, say, racist in the past, okay, then you make a change. But when it's like, well, we just want it this way, no, just create something new, and I'm cool with it. You don't have to change things. Now, if it were implied back then, but they couldn't say it because times were different and they wanted to bring that to now, that's different. Because, just look, if anyone saw the Mr. Rogers documentary, there was one of the characters whose actor was gay, and he kind of had to hide it on set because back then it wasn't as accepted as it is today. And the guy got caught at a nightclub, and Mr. Rogers told him, it's like, look, I don't care what you do, but nowadays you got to keep that stuff to yourself. Don't get caught. And then, whereas if it happened now, you'd be like, I'm happy for you, probably. So it's just, yeah, I don't think you need to change things just for the sake of changing things. But again, if it were implied back then, if they just couldn't say it back then, but the creators really wanted it to be that way, then that's a different story. Um, let's see. Bill says Pokemon is like dog fighting, but much cuter. Um, I used to look. I'm cool with Pokemon. It's a cartoon. It's a card game. It's video games, and uh, I used to give some of my friends at work that play it a little crap about, I make the slavery argument. And it's like, it's just like Mandingo fighting, and they don't like that. So, and it's like, guys, I don't care. I'm just messing with you. But uh, it's it is a fun argument to make just in jest, I think. Um, because it's like you force them into the ball, and then you train them and force them to fight, even though, you got to say, look at Ash and Pikachu, they became friends, so, and he didn't he tried to force them into the ball, as a cartoon said, uh, but yeah, the whole, it's a cartoon. I don't care, but the argument is there. Um, let's see. Desiree says creators of new generation of Pokemon games said the newer games won't allow people to carry over all the Pokemon from past games. People are not too happy about it. Well, when you have probably the most devious catchphrase when it comes to collecting something, gotta catch them all, and then you don't allow them to carry it over, yeah, that would tick me off a little bit too. um because yeah, it's gotta catch them all, gotta buy them all, um gotta have all the stuffed animals, gotta have all the toys, gotta have all the games. um but yeah, that would make me mad if they didn't carry over. um Bryce says, did you get this weird people hunting people in Eastern Europe, made to look like America trailer in front of Crawl? I did, but I don't recall the name of it. Yeah. What was the name of that? Yeah, I got that in front of Crawl too, but I can't remember what it was called. Um, yeah, I remember I did see it. Um, but yeah, I don't remember much about it. I don't remember the name. Uh, but yeah, I did see that. Um, there's Idris might be playing Bronze Tiger. Thank you. I couldn't remember his name. Um, Bryson also says the best casting for Little Mermaid, Ron Jeremy as the Tower of the Castle. We all know which tower you're referring to. Oh man, I remember when that came out. Man, that was a big deal because my brother used to work for a video store when that came out, and I remember they kept the copy. So yeah, I remember that was it's pretty blatant. Yeah, it's pretty blatant. Ron Jeremy would work. But yeah, I remember when that happened. That was bad. Disney, family friendly. One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I need ideas, and you don't have to come up with ideas now. Some of you have already came up with some ideas for me on Twitter and on the YouTube community section. I'm considering doing a Patreon, and this is not because I need more money. No, I want to do a Patreon because if people want to contribute and help out to the channel, they can. I will never go. See, here's the thing, and one suggestion I'm not going to be taking is I'm not going to be putting videos up early behind a paywall. I hate that. If people on their Patreons want to do that, that's fine. Where it's like, well, you can get the video a week early or whatever. First of all, my schedule doesn't allow me to do stuff like that most times. Second of all, I just don't like the idea of making people pay for something early. I'm going to release it on YouTube when I want to release it on YouTube, and everyone can see it, and that's fine with me. But this is just kind of going to be an opportunity for people that if you want to help out, you can. And if you don't, that's fine too, because I'm just happy you're here and I'm happy you're watching. But it's just one of those, uh, if you want to help, you can. And I'm just looking for ideas for tiers. Um, I mean, of course, there's things I had suggested to me, doing letting people pick movies and stuff like that. And I've never done this, so I don't know how other people do it, how much they would say if okay, if you wanted to have me watch a season or a series or something like that, of a show. Now, if it came to like a series, that'd have to be, well, you're gonna pay for it. But because sometimes, if you give me something that's like 7 seasons long, well, it's gonna take a while. But yeah, I'm just looking for ideas for tiers, and that's even if I do it. I mean, it's a slow process. I've got a lot of the stuff built in case I want to do it. But I just need ideas for tiers. And again, I'm not going to hide anything behind a paywall. I do want to do things like, uh, if people want to suggest movies, if I can get them. And no, I'm not going to watch porn. Um, you know, it's, I just need ideas, and I need to know what do you think would be a reasonable price and things like that, for suggestions and things like that, because I want to be able, if people are paying for it, it's one of those things where, well, there's a chance I'll pick your thing. No, if people are going to pay for it, I want people to get what they're paying for. You know what I mean? Um, so it's going to be more like that. I'm not going to be making it a chance thing. I'm not going to be making it behind a paywall thing. It's just going to be, hey, if you want to help out the channel, want to help me, afford paying for the movies and games and whatever I do on it, you can. If you don't want to, that's cool too. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up to you guys, that if you have ideas, if you think of something later, contact me on Twitter. You can contact me in the comment section of this video. I just need some ideas if I do it. So if you guys can help me out with that. Some of you already have, and thank you so much for those that have. But I just need some ideas. Again, my Patreon's not going to be one of these because I want to make it my career. It's just I just need ideas. And I want to give people an opportunity to help if they want to. And if they do, great. If they don't, that's fine too. Let's go back to the comments here. Desiree says Pokemon absolutely is dog fighting, but cute non-bloody dog fighting that happens to have attacks called guillotine and leech life, used by cute super broad critters that could slaughter all humanity. Yeah, I mean, get things like Mewtwo and things out there, destroy the entire world. Yeah, I always find it funny that it's like, oh, they're knocked out, whenever one of them beats another one. But yeah, you know, that's what kind of worried me about the live action Pokemon movie. But they didn't do a lot of fighting in that movie, if you really think about it, the Detective Pikachu movie, until near the end. But yeah, it worried me how that was going to come off as more realistic to people. But I thought at least that part of the movie I thought wasn't too bad. But yeah, they do have some pretty deadly sounding moves, but at least they're cute. Rob says, everyone please watch Perpetual Grace Limited season 1 on Epix. Excuse me. It is amazing if you like Ben Kingsley, Jimmy Simpson, Terry O'Quinn, very intense and well written. I know you did some videos on that too, Rob, I believe. I can't remember if you just did one or more. But everyone should definitely check his reviews out for that. I believe that's the show you got a response from on Twitter from somebody from the cast or something, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was that show where they responded to, you talking about their show, and I thought that was kind of cool. Let's see. Bill says, I could see the Pokemon game getting a DLC expansion. Nintendo have started doing that, and they need Pokemon to come out this year as their big Christmas title. Yeah, there's always seems to be a Pokemon game. I just watched the Games Done Quick Let's Go Eevee playthrough. That was kind of fun to watch. And my son, who he likes Pokemon, but I think, and maybe this is a little bit of his dad in him, he likes Team Rocket more than anything. he was excited that Jesse and James were in that game. Because any other time I've had him watch some Pokemon video of a game or something, they don't show Jesse and James, and he likes Jesse and James and Meowth. So, and of course, when he asked me who's my favorite Pokemon, it's Meowth. I don't know why. I go to the bad guys more for some reason. Um, and of course, they've kind of in some of the later shows they kind of made them pseudo good guys, but he likes his Team Rocket. Let's see. Rob says, what do y'all want to see videos on when me and Rob collaborate? Yes, Rob and I, unless something comes up, which I hope it doesn't, I'm going to be traveling up to work with Rob, and we're going to be doing a few videos in that day. I've got 2 ideas. I'm sure he's got some ideas, but we could use some ideas on some things you want us to do. I don't want to spoil what I have ideas I have. I still got to talk to Rob about them. But we're looking for some ideas on what you'd like to see us talk about when we're together. We're going to do some stuff for my channel. We're going to do some stuff for his channel. And then to make the trip worth it, we're going to do a few projects so that we can spread out a little over time. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I don't remember the day off the top of my head, but it's August, I believe we said 17th, if I'm not mistaken, I believe is what we talked about. Sorry, I don't have my schedule in front of me. But yeah, we definitely would like some ideas. Especially if you watch both of our channels, what would you like to see us do? We're definitely taking some ideas. Bill says, fans are literally paying for release the Snyder Cut ads at Comic-Con. I love that. As much as I wasn't a huge fan of the Justice League, I mean, of course, it was kind of a mess because you had 2 directors and late changes and bad upper lip CG on Superman. I would love to just see it. I would love to see the Snyder Cut just to see it. See if it's better. Why not? Just let us see it. Rob says, for $5 a month, I review something by request. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So I'm definitely looking in. I wasn't sure what to charge for that. Cause again, I don't like even the idea of charging for something. But it's like, cause I take suggestions anyway, but it's just, maybe if I'm charging for something, it can be something a little more obscure, something that, I just can't find anywhere. I might have to buy it, things like that. So it feels weird saying, well, for $5, I'll do this for you, even though most people have made suggestions and I've gone and taken a look at it. Again, it's just some ideas I'm coming up with. Bryson says, maybe you guys could watch crappy 90s kids movies like Surf Ninjas. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. One thing is, I mean, maybe we could pick one because, again, we're only going to have a day and then we have to record things as well. So maybe that's not a bad idea to watch a movie together and then talk about, or if we watch some, we can watch them before we get together and talk about them. So that's not a bad idea. Desiree says, I've been trying to get people to see Bunraku, but no one has freaking seen that movie, which is shocking since it's castmate Josh Hartnett, Woody Harrelson, Demi Moore, Ron Perlman. Is that a new one or is that an older one? That name sounds so familiar. Desiree, if you can let me know about that. And Rob says that was an idea for you. Yeah, the $5 a month. Bill says the Adventures of Dally and Spanky is the single greatest movie concept in cinema history. It's the adventures of a dog that stands on a miniature pony. Desiree says, I'm trying to save up for a Switch Lite for the single purpose of Pokemon. They got me hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, the Switch Lite's the one that's just portable, right? Yeah, I heard that was coming. My son wants a Switch, and I'm like, save up for it. If my son were to ever save up for like half a Switch, I would probably help him get one. But man, it's hard for me to even. I mean, they just got a Wii last year, and they still don't play all those games. Let's see. Bryson says Gary Oak is the real bad guy in Pokemon. Yeah. I always thought what was it? I guess for that Let's Go Eevee, you don't fight Oak, you fight somebody else at the end. I think you fight the rival at the very end, who's been kind of nice to you the entire movie. Um, and people were making comments on that thing I watched about it's not really Oak. Um, but it would, I think, a nice twist on that would Gary Oak if he would have been like Team Rocket, you know. Um, let's see. Rob says, yeah, Luis Guzman and Chris Conrad from the cast have responded and followed me, plus 2 of the producers' writers. Yeah, I heard you. I saw you got some responses. I thought that was really cool. I love it when an actor or a musician or someone will take the time not just to like your thing, but to respond to it. I've had that happen a few times. When I interviewed Robert Nepper, I sent him the link to the interview and he made a comment about it. And one of these days I'm going to print it off, but I saved the tweet and it talks about, who the real fans are. And then there's a link to my video. I'm going to frame that one of these days and put it up. And I thought that was a really cool response. Rob says, yeah, the 17th. I thought that was the date. Rob says, it does feel weird, but I try to give a really good review. Plus, they could ask for movies that I might not have reviewed before. If you're talking about Patreon. Yeah, that's one thing is it's hard to, I can't even remember half the movies I've seen sometimes. So if someone suggested, it wouldn't be bad to look at a movie again or something like that. But yeah, again, that's a good idea. Sorry, I'm a little tired, guys. Bill says Chronic is gender swapped in the new Jay and Silent Bob movie. I'm sure the internet's reaction to this will be sane and normal. Yeah, that new Jay and Silent Bob movie, the reboot, it's not a reboot. It's called Reboot. They're making a new Jay and Silent Bob movie. It's going to be talking about reboot culture and movies and things like that. It's got me curious. I really am curious about that movie. I'm actually excited for that one. Paul says, do you think Birds of Prey is going to be good? God, I hope so. They got a lot of characters in it. I like that. They showed some set photos the other day that someone had snapped, and they were like, look at the new Black Mask. And I thought, oh, cool. We get to see the Black Mask. And it was just like this half mask. And it's like, that ain't the Black Mask. I hope so. I really do. There's a lot of different personalities from the Bat universe in that. So that's going to be a little iffy. And being that DC's in this pseudo reboot phase, this soft reboot phase, it's just really curious what they're going to do. Because, I mean, they were talking about how, like, Shazam wasn't really connected to the DC universe. And all of a sudden, spoiler alert, Superman shows up at the end, even though you don't see the face. And then in the credits, it shows it shows Shazam hanging out with all the heroes and everything else in animated form. So, I mean, they're still connected if you ask me. But yeah, I really do hope Birds of Prey is good. It's a risky one, but it could be. I like the cast, I will say. Desiree says, Bunraku came out in 2010. It's a weird, almost video game comic book-esque movie with a classic Western vibe and neat artistic elements. And she continues, Bunraku is a Japanese form of stage performance using paper and shadows. In the film, all the sets and environments are made of paper. It's so cool looking. I don't think I've seen that, but I know I've heard of that. That sounds awful familiar. But I don't believe I've seen it. Bryce says a Switch Lite is coming out, no detachable Joy-Con, but it has the dedicated D-pad that will be cheaper than a Switch. Yeah. That's not a bad move by Nintendo. I mean, it's a way of making their port. See, they made the smart move where they have what was it? They have they brought together their portable and their console. And honestly, I think this is what they're going to do from now on. So you've got, they don't have to come out with a new DS. It's like, well, you can take this one system on the go, or you can play it at home on your big TV or whatever, or you can go to a hotel and play it. There's just the Nintendo is extremely, I mean, they don't always have a winner. I mean, come on, what's that thing that you have to, you build the cardboard things that my kids would break in like 2 minutes. Um, there's that stuff, but then they come out with the Switch and it's like one of the most ingenious systems ever. Um, but that being said, I would kind of be not against the smaller, the Switch Lite, because I would just want both, but that's not putting anything against the Switch Lite. It's just, for me, I would want the regular Switch because you'd have both the portable and the thing. Oh, hey, notifications. You probably all heard that, I'm sure. But oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Let's see, where was I? Lance Davis says, Snoochie Boochies. Yo, I'll tell you, if you ever get a chance to see Kevin Smith do a live podcast, do it. Go see it. I went and saw one in St. Louis, and I've mentioned this before, where they showed the Jay and Silent Bob super groovy cartoon movie. I always have to think about what I'm saying. And that was a project that Jason Mewes put together as a way to stay off of drugs. His words. And if you ever get a chance to see them on stage live, just shooting the crap, it's a lot of fun. He's very interesting. Kevin Smith especially is very interesting to just listen to talk. And it's definitely like you see on videos on YouTube. You only get a few questions in, and because he'll just kind of run the stage on one question, he'll tell a 30-minute story. But it's so cool. Desiree says it's not called Birds of Prey. It's called Birds of Prey, the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn, because they got to be extra. Yeah, they were that title's a little forced, but it's Birds of Prey. It was supposed to be Gotham City Sirens there for a while, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that was another movie. I mean, you got to remember DC had 27,000 movies on their slate there for a while. I mean, come on, we were going to get a Joker movie, a Joker and Harley movie, a Suicide Squad 2 movie, Cyborg movie. I still want the Flashpoint movie. But yeah, I'm glad they're toning down their slate a little bit. I think Justice League humbled them just a little bit. Let's see. Rob says you got to interview Robert Knepper. That's so awesome. Yeah, it's on the channel, man. I have a playlist of interviews. I interviewed him at Comic-Con Chicago. I don't remember the year. He was a cool interview. I really enjoyed talking to him. I was really happy because he was only one of the only few that would talk to me that year. As much as I enjoyed it, interviewing Lou Ferrigno before, they're like, well, we can get you to interview Lou Ferrigno again. I'm like, look, I liked interviewing him, but I asked him everything I would ask Lou Ferrigno, and so that was it was a fun interview. I was so happy that that he took the time to do that. It was a lot of fun. Bryson says, fantabulous. Oh no, dear. I hope it isn't damaged tattoo extra. Yeah, they went a little far with the Joker, I think. It made me sad because I thought he would have been a good Joker, and I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more of what they were going to do with it, because you didn't get to see a lot in Suicide Squad, but I don't know. I think people weren't ready for that. And now they're talking about this new Joker movie where the director's already going, well, we didn't take anything from the comics, so you're probably not going to like it. Either they're just being honest or they're trying to hide something, like they're going to be connecting it somehow. I'm a little worried about that movie too, even though I am kind of excited to see it. Um, Desiree says Harley has a confetti jacket. It's quite extra. Yeah, that those little bits and clips they showed on that teaser trailer thing, I'm just like, okay, just give me a better trailer than not just don't give me a few pictures. Um, I am curious about any comic book movie though. I do want it to be good. Bryce says, so I've seen the trailer for Three from Hell, and though I love Devil's Rejects, I have some reservations. Sid Haig seems to not be prominently in it. Mosley looks good and threatening. Sherry Moon may be the weakest link. Here just running around giggling like May worked 10 years ago, but she looks too much her age. Yeah, I like the other movies, okay. They're not like big time memorable for me. My biggest connection to Sid Haig is I got weird looks from him at a Days of the Dead uh, convention once because me and my camera guy were talking about something. I don't remember what it was, but I guess what he thought he heard something different, and he gave us this funny look, and we had a good laugh about it. But and also he goes to like every one of those conventions, and he's a nice guy, but man, he does look frightening in real life. He's a big dude. But yeah, those movies aren't like real memorable to me. I have not seen the new trailer. I need to go back and watch them, especially because I'm not sure when that one comes out. I am curious to see it though, but it's been so long since I watched the other ones. Lance says, has anyone been watching last season of Legion? It's been so good, psychedelic plus trippy as hell. I have not. I know there's people here in this chat that have been watching it, so you can definitely connect with them. I believe Rob is watching that one, doing reviews on his channel. At least I know he's done some. I don't remember when the last one he did was. But I know he's definitely covering it. TV shows, it's hard for me to find time to watch, unfortunately. I have to really be picky and choosy when it comes to TV shows. Bill says, in Far From Home, Quentin Beck can be seen in plainclothes walking behind Peter Parker right before the Hydra Man attack. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, that's great. I love stuff like that where it's just like, oh, he was there. And they just kind of fool you. And that was cool. I did enjoy that. Desiree says, neat catch, Bill. That's pretty neat. Cholo Marilyn Manson Joker makes me cringe. I wasn't a fan of the look at all. Yeah, the look was weird. It was just like pimp Joker, you know? And I don't know. I just wanted to see a good performance. So if he would have been able to pull off that performance, but again, he didn't get a lot to do. But what little we got wasn't great. And, maybe it'll be a better Morbius. Who knows? Lance says, thoughts on the info that dropped last week that David Gordon Green will potentially be shooting 2 Halloween sequels back to back. Will this work? Well, with Halloween, we didn't see the body at the end. I kind of wish they would have done a finale, like a finale for that, because I mean, they erased everything after Halloween, right? So, what now? I mean, Halloween was great. I loved it. I loved the tracking shots of following Michael Myers and things like that. I loved Sarah Connor, Laurie Strode. But what else are you going to give us? That's my only issue with more Halloween is what else are you going to give us? I would have loved to have seen Michael die and or Laurie Strode die with him. I mean, she didn't have to, but I would have loved to just for them to finish it. Because look, we've already tried to remake it. You've had countless stupid sequels. And now you finally give us a real sequel, right? That fits the universe. And then now we're going to go down the same path again, unfortunately, I think. So will it work? I mean, if you want to see it, maybe they're doing it back to back because they want to make sure that, you know, you can still have Laurie Strode in them. I mean, you never know. I mean, not saying, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis is going to die anytime soon, but you never know. I mean, you just never know. I mean, who thought we would have lost Carrie Fisher before Star Wars was done, right? So they maybe they're just trying to make sure by doing two movies, so that's maybe why they're doing it. But I just wish they would have finished it. I really do. That would have been a really gutsy move, and it would have been a fantastic gutsy move if they would have been like, "Here's Michael Myers' burnt body, done." Right? But no, we got to. They were wondering, well, if people like it, we want to make more. So of course they had to leave it open to where you didn't see the body at the end. Rob says, I have reviewed, and yes, it's amazing talking about Legion. Yeah, definitely check out his videos. He deep dives into these shows. How he has all this time to watch all these shows and review them, hats off. Because man, I wish I feel like I need 27 hours a day. But yeah, he puts a lot of time in his shows, his show reviews. Definitely check him out. Definitely gives them a lot of thought. So definitely check out Rob's channel. Subscribe to it if you haven't. Desiree says Rob Zombie only makes movies to show off his wife. Yeah, we talked about that one, the Salem one with the record. That movie was bad. Oh boy. Bryce says so far, 3 from Hell is only going to be released as a Fathom event. I think you mentioned that before. In early September, same as 31 was. I did not see 31. I don't think Zombie has had a wide release since Lords of Salem, which was unique, I guess. Lords of Salem didn't even make it here. I had to see it in Indiana when I went to see it, and boy, did I regret that. Yeah, that was as close as it got to me, was Indiana. So I mean, maybe it was in half theater, just kind of like a pseudo wide release, because we definitely didn't get any theaters around here. Lance says, same here. Laurie and Michael should have taken each other out of the foul. Yeah, have guts. I would love to see a series have guts to really finish the series, but no, we always got to leave it open. And I liked that. I really liked with this new Halloween that they took the supernatural element out of it. He was just tough, right? He's just tough, and you got to take him out. I prefer look, I like a supernatural villain as much as anybody, but there's something about the villain not being invincible that I really enjoy, because maybe it makes it more believable when the hero takes them out. But I mean, if you look at Freddy, I mean, they do that to him. They take him out of the dream world to kill him. And then in the dream world, they can fight like him. Maybe that's why I like those movies, or most of those movies, so much. But I don't know. I liked what they do with Michael Myers. They just made him this, he wasn't like supernatural anymore. But now it's like, how did he survive the fire? Hopefully he's all burned up in the next movie. That would be interesting, I think, but I kind of wish they would have stopped. Bill says a musical where Michael Myers only talks during the songs. Yeah, that's what we need. Or it's Mike Myers under the mask. Let's see. Lance says, will scary stories to tell in the dark land with audiences, or is it going to flop? The trailer looks pretty good for the most part. When I heard about that movie, I liked the idea. I saw the trailer, and I almost found it a little too funny. I think it looks cool, don't get me wrong. But when they did the thing with the woman missing her toe, and all of a sudden you hear, "Where's my toe?" I lost it. I couldn't help it. If they keep it if they go balls to the wall scary with it, that's its biggest chance, because if they sugarcoat that movie it's not going to work. Because it's just, with a movie like that, you got to go creepy, and you got to go. I mean, I think they've shown too much in the trailer. So that's another problem I had, is all of a sudden, I can understand showing the scarecrow. I can understand maybe showing one other thing, but they show like 4 or 5 monsters from it. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. Um, let's see. Bryson says, speaking of Star Wars, the Sith Trooper design is the laziest crap. I have seen a studio do it a long time. It's just a New Order Stormtrooper who is red. Everyone involved should be ashamed. Over on Twitter, when that came out, the first thing I thought of is Target predicted the future. Target predicted the future because a few years ago, they had a Target card exclusive Funko where it's red. It's a red Stormtrooper. I mean, it's not the new design Stormtrooper. It's not the First Order Stormtrooper. It's a regular one, but it was all red. And you put these pictures side by side, it's even the same color red. So Target predicted the future. Target and Funko. But yeah, there's some people trying to make the argument that a lot of the designs for the Resistance are blue, and a lot of the stuff for the bad guys is red, and that's a political thing. Everyone's trying to find everything in that. Yeah, it is. Here's the thing, though. The reason I'm not too mad at this Sith Trooper thing, yeah, it's a lazy design. But if you think about like the Emperor's Guards, and you look at the bad guy that got cut in half in The Last Jedi that nobody Snoke, his guards were in red. I mean, I think that's why they're doing it, just to kind of keep some consistency there. But yeah, the design's a little bit lazy. I am looking forward to seeing the whole, finally, the Knights of Ren thing. Hopefully they don't let us down. Let's see. Paul says, sad they cut Halloween 2. It continued from the first. Yeah, Halloween 2 is good, but I understand why they took it out of there. They wanted to take the whole thing about them being siblings and all that stuff out of there. That's probably the only reason that they took 2 out of the equation. Just to take that away would be my guess. Scott Savage joined us. How you doing? And thank you so much for the super chats. Not necessary, but thank you so much. And he comments a few things. We'll get to those here in a second. Lance says, when are we going to get a damn trailer for Zombieland Double Tap? When you supply the Twinkies, I guess. Yeah, I am curious about that one. I really am. Is it going to be too little too late? Is Bill Murray going to turn up as a real zombie this time? There's questions to be answered. I am looking forward to that movie, though. Lance also says they need a new Elm Street flick after botching that remake. That was craptastic. Poor Jackie Earle Haley. Okay, you're all going to hate me this. I liked that remake. I'm not saying it's better than the original Freddy. I love Nightmare on Elm Street 3. It will probably forever be my favorite. But I liked that they went back to scary Freddy. And I know people say New Nightmare, they did that. But New Nightmare I liked. I liked the fourth wall breaking of New Nightmare. But I liked Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy. It's just that they didn't do enough to differentiate from the original Nightmare on Elm Street. I would have loved to have seen them try something really different. And yeah, I know they did it with the look, and I didn't despise the look or anything. And I love Jackie Earle Haley, and I loved him in it. But I get why people don't like that movie. I feel bad for him too, because I mean, when they said he was going to be the new Freddy, I'm like, yes, right? But it's, I enjoy it. It's not one I go back and watch over and over and over again, but I enjoyed it when I watched it. I liked the cast. But again, it was one of those remakes that it's like, well, we didn't really need this. They didn't do enough to make it change, to make it worth remaking. And now they're doing it again. There's an article out there with Robert Englund where he talks about his idea for a new Elm Street, where Freddy takes the form of other people throughout the whole movie, and then the last reveals him as Freddy. I like that idea. But he says he didn't think it'll ever happen. Scott says, hopefully Jamie Lee Curtis ate enough activity to live to be 90. Yeah, it's good for the gut. See, Desiree says, I have faith in scary stories, of course. I have a blind devotion to Guillermo del Toro, so I'll go on full Sharpie Brauchola on anyone who trash talks him. Well, no, I love Guillermo del Toro. I always want him to succeed. Still mad he didn't get to finish Hellboy, especially after watching the new Hellboy. Um, let's see. Bryson says it does make sense with the Emperor's scars being red as Palpatine is alive. I guess somehow, as the trailer seems to suggest it. See, I've heard all sorts of weird theories about how he's really going to be alive, and a lot of people thought he was going to learn the how to be alive forever because of the what he talked about in the prequels and all that. So I'm really not surprised, but with him being back alive, everyone's going to be like, "Well, JJ, you're only copying Return of the Jedi." So we'll see how that one goes. Um, let's see. Lance says, "Ha ha ha! No Twinkies, just Tink Tongs." Bill says red lightsaber versus blue lightsaber. Red versus blue is nothing new. Right, exactly. But everyone looks into everything nowadays, and everything has a hidden message. I'm not saying some things don't have hidden messages, but not everything has a hidden message. Lance says my rankings. For Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, Dream Warriors, Dream Master, New Nightmare, are the cream of the crop. Yeah, I can see your rankings there. I like the original. I love 3. 3, I think 3 is my favorite because I like that the people go in the dreams become the Dream Warriors. And I wanted to see more of that. I wish they would have done more of that, especially if they redo it. I want to see them do more stuff of them being able to fight back in the dreams. That's what I want to see. Once says Gino can't stay, but so glad to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Glad you could come. Lance says the remake had a cool little hook with the micro naps thing too. Yeah. They should have played that angle more. Yeah, they had a few ideas, but more so it was just, you know, they I think they went to the well of the original too much. Desiree says Jackie Earl Haley is great. He needs to be in more things. He was perfect Rorschach and Watchmen. Yeah, nobody could have played that part better. I loved him in the new Tick show that they just canceled. Amazon. He was the terror in the new Tick, and I loved him in that. He was in a few other shows I liked. And yeah, it seems like any show he goes on to, they cancel. So I mean, that kind of sucks because he's great. I love Jackie Earl Haley. I know he's dead, but I really hope they do something with him in this HBO Watchmen thing, because it's supposed to be connected to the movie. So hopefully they'll do something with him. Maybe show flashback episode or something with him as Rorschach. That'd be amazing. Bryson says, I would like a good reboot of the Hellraiser series. Pinhead doesn't even need to be in it, but just some cool Cenobites. Yeah, I'd love to see a new take on Hellraiser. I mean, they kind of went to the well a little too much. Something different for them would be great. Bill says the lighting in the Kylo Ren Han Solo scene is half red, half blue until the Starkiller changes, removes all the blue light from the scene. Then Kylo stabs him. Right. I mean, there's always something there, and they've always done it. You know, Vader versus Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. Yeah, I know there's a lot of blue and a lot of red. So yeah, I don't look too much into it. Let's see. Paul says, I would like to see Luke go to the dark side. Yeah, a lot of people thought that's what they were going to do with The Last Jedi. That would have been a really interesting twist, because I know that in a lot of the stuff that doesn't really count anymore, all the extended universe stuff, that Luke finally did succumb to the dark side because he was too unbalanced. And I think what they're really going for in this new series is they're looking for the balanced Jedi, to where they find the perfect balance of good and evil. I have a feeling that's where they're gonna go, and it's gonna be Ray. So that's where I think that's going. Bryce says, "Poor Watchmen, the HBO series trailer looks so bad. Alan Moore adaptations just never work." Yeah, they do seem to screw up a lot of Alan Moore stuff. He does say his stuff's unfilmable, um, even though I do think the new Watchmen or the original Watchmen had some things that were really good in it. I just don't think it was a great movie. I've watched it again in the last year, and again, it's just like, well, Rorschach's great, Night Owl's great, um, the comedian's great, Doctor Manhattan's pretty hit and miss. The bad guy, I can't remember his name, Ozymandias or whatever it was. He was hit and miss. And then of course they changed the alien thing, which I think made a lot of people mad. I would have loved to have seen them do. I mean, as much as that movie was a straight adaptation of the comic, even shot for shot, I'm surprised they didn't go. Uh, I'm surprised they didn't go uh, with the alien in it. Lance says that's a bummer about the new Hellboy tanking. You would think Neil Marshall would have nailed it. I really dug his flicks Dog Soldiers of the Descent and Doomsday as a guilty pleasure. The problem with Hellboy there was lots of problems, but I think they tried to cram too much into it story wise. I think they needed to focus a little better. If they would have cut out half the stories, but the stuff they put in is in the comics, but they tried, well, we got to tell the Arthur stuff, and we got to, halfway through the movie, we got to show them finding Hellboy, and basically the stuff that was in the original Hellboy. They just tried to cram too much stuff into it. And there was some stuff I really liked. I mean, David Harbour, given the right script, would be a good Hellboy. But the two sidekick characters couldn't hold a candle to Liz and Abe. And spoiler alert, they tease Abe at the end. Of course they do. And then I liked Lobster Johnson. I liked finally getting to see him. That was great. So I mean, they did some things that really worked. The effects weren't the greatest when they used CG. The practical effects were fine. I like the look of Hellboy. It's just the movie was just a kind of a mess. It's one I want to take another look at, but I just feel they tried to cram too much into it, and they teased like 2 or 3 future stories, which Lord knows if they'll even get. Who knows? It is too bad that it didn't do good. I mean, and this is coming from someone that loved the Del Toro Hellboy movies. I wanted to see that finish, but I was giving this new one a chance because I just want good Hellboy movies. So, again, we didn't get the Del Toro finish, but what we got was it's exactly what Mike Mignola wanted. Well, what Mike Mignola wanted was too much. You needed about 3 movies to tell all the stories they were trying to tell in the new Hellboy movie. Let's see. Rob says, I've never been this wary of a Star Wars movie. It's really depressing. Yeah, I'm a little worried about it. My big worry, though, is, first of all, I'm happy that Colin Trevorrow isn't doing it. I'm glad he's gone. I have a feeling, though, that JJ is going to make it feel too much like Return of the Jedi, where I understood why The Force Awakens felt like A New Hope, because they were wanting to get they wanted people to feel comfortable coming back after the prequels and everything. But then we got The Last Jedi, which there were some things in that movie that worked and some things that really didn't work. The stuff that worked, I really liked. The stuff that didn't work, I'm just like, please end. And I feel, again, I'm not worried from that aspect because we got The Last Jedi. I'm worried more for JJ's going to be like, well, or Disney may even say to JJ, you need to make it feel more like this so people are more comfortable and more happy with it so they don't get mad at us like they did when Rian Johnson made his movie. So yeah, I don't know. I am hoping it's good. I really do. I love Star Wars, man. I hate to see it. I hate to see it tear a fan base apart like it has. Bryce says prediction of the obvious Rey as a Skywalker. Unless Luke had a secret wife or Han had a kid. Well, I mean, they would. I mean, they would have said Leia's her mom, but already, if that were the case, a lot of people think that she's Han's illegitimate child because Han, I guess, had some flings after marrying Leia. I guess from some of the comics, I think, or he had a wife before her or something. I know they wrote it in there somehow. He had other people, or he had other relationships other than Leia. So, I mean, come on, he's a scruffy nerfer. What do you expect? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she's going to be a Skywalker. I think people will boo that movie out of the theater. She's a Skywalker. Let's see. Rob says, I just reviewed Dog Soldiers, one of my Patreon members. Check it out. Yeah, definitely check out that review. Paul says, if Rey a Skywalker, it'd be fitting Luke become Vader. Yeah, that's just it, though. I mean, Luke's probably just going to be a Force ghost. If somehow Luke comes back to life, that'd be interesting. I don't know if they'll be able to do that, but I have a feeling it's just going to be a Force ghost. Let's see. If Rey's descent from anyone, it should be Palpatine. That's the big rumor, is that there's that rumor. There's a rumor she's a clone, and that there's gonna be more of her. And that was what that mirror scene in The Last Jedi meant. Which that'd be a neat little twist, because that'd be kind of taking what they had in the Force Unleashed games, where clones could actually do Force powers. So that'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting take if she were a clone. I'd be a little more accepting of that than she's somebody's relative. That'd be kind of cool, I think. I mean, think about it. Think if they've dropped off Rey clones throughout the galaxy just to see what would happen. Let's see. Lance says, what are some of your most anticipated flicks you want to see that's coming out soon? Well, let's go to the coming out soon. I know there's a few I'm really looking forward to. Next week, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. By the way, did y'all know that apparently there's The Boy 2 is coming out next week? Has anyone seen anything on this? Even IMDb doesn't have like a poster in its main picture. It's just like some weird picture from a set. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'm looking forward to. Let's see. Let me look at things here. I'm looking forward to Hobbs and Shaw. I think it's going to be a little too silly. The Kitchen is one I'm really looking forward to. That's based on a DC Vertigo comic. And it's Melissa McCarthy getting to do more serious stuff. It's Tiffany Haddish getting to do serious stuff, which I really am curious of seeing. Let's see what else. I'm curious about Good Boys, because the trailers have made me laugh. I'm hoping they haven't showed us everything. I saw the trailer for Ready or Not. I'm curious about that one. Let's see. Let's go into September here. It Chapter 2, definitely. I just saw the trailer for Hustlers. That looks kind of interesting. Rambo Last Blood, I'm looking forward to. 21 Bridges. Joker. I'm curious about Gemini Man. I have a feeling it's not going to work, but I'm curious about it. The Addams Family cartoon. Zombieland Double Tap. Jojo Rabbit, which probably won't come around here, but that's Taika Waititi's new movie. That if you look into that one, it looks interesting. Let's see. We'll go to December here. Curious about Terminator Dark Fate. I think it's gonna fail though. Let's see what else we got. Ford v Ferrari looks good. The Good Liar looks good. I mean, you could put Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren in any movie. I'm gonna want to watch it. But then I saw the trailer and it looks really good. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks, I'm looking forward to. Knives Out, as we talked about Ryan Johnson not too long ago. I do like the trailer for it though. Jumanji: The Next Level, Star Wars, of course. Those are about the ones I'm probably most excited about, I think. I know there's a lot there. Let's see, where was I? Bryson says, also, I find it funny that people looking way into Star Wars say there's a political reason for not having the Resistance rather than the Rebel Alliance. Yeah, there's all sorts of, well, you need to say it this way now kind of things with Star Wars and everything, to be honest. Desiree says, how about Obi-Wan? She could be a descendant from him. He did live a long time ago, so he could have had children and she'd be a few generations removed from him. That is a theory I actually talked about a long time ago. I think it was on one of my podcasts. I don't remember. I know I've talked about it, but in the Clone Wars cartoon, he was in love with this princess. And he said if he hadn't chose to become a Jedi, they'd be together. And who's to say they couldn't have got together one time? And that started a whole line of Obi-Wan descendants. So that would be one too. That would be a cool one. That's all why a lot of people thought they fit in the Obi-Wan stuff from The Force Awakens whenever she found the lightsaber and things like that. So Obi-Wan would be a cool choice. Again, I'm gonna call it. I'm going with the clone theory. That's what I'm sticking to. Do I think it's gonna be Obi-Wan or Palpatine or Skywalker? Yes, but I'm gonna go with the clone theory. I like the clone theory, especially with the mirror thing. That's because a lot of people are like, why is she looking at the mirror? Why is there multiple Rays? Well, it's because she's a clone. There's more of her. That's what I think they're gonna go with. You're gonna get a whole scene of her fighting her own clones and stuff. And maybe the rest of them will be wielding red lightsabers. I don't know, but I'm going to go with the clone theory. Let's see. Paul says, are you looking forward to Space Jam 2? Yes and no. I love the Looney Tunes, but do we need another Space Jam? Why not, I guess. I like the original. I still watch it every now and then. Let's see. Bill says, there's more conflict and drama if Rey's a Palpatine. She wants family and a place in the world. Yeah, that one probably makes the most sense because she would be like, well, I got to fight, whatever. He would be removed from her family wise. But, and I'll bet even if that doesn't come true, that's probably going to be a lie he tells her, which I could see that happening. Bright says, Rise of Skywalker to me seals the deal of Rey's ancestry. Unless the movie is awesome and Kylo Ren becomes good and Rey becomes a female Sith, that's what a lot of people thought was going to happen. Where Kylo, finds forgiveness and everything, and he finds peace, and then Rey doesn't. That would be a neat little twist. That would be a cool twist, but I don't know. From a marketing standpoint, it doesn't work because they got to sell Rey toys to little girls, so who want to be girl Jedi. So I don't know. I don't see them turning her bad. It would be a cool twist though if they did. Desert said Mignola wanted to be all edgy with no substance. Del Toro had an eye for tying together visuals and storytelling. Right. Del Toro's Hellboy movies were definitely well thought out, and I'm not saying that Mignola's stuff isn't well thought out, but part of me feels like he only thought he had one chance. So it's like, well, we got to put in the Baba Yaga. We got to put in the Arthur stuff. We got to put in whatever the bad guy's name was, the witch, Blood Queen or whatever it was. We got to put in the stuff about his origin. We got to put in Lobster Johnson. We got to put in this. We got to put in that. We got to put in Abe Sapien at the end. There's just so much going on. And then the script isn't that good, and the supporting characters just aren't that good. I would have rather just seen Hellboy on his own if you're not going to give him Abe Sapien, at least. And come on, where's the Abe Sapien love? Doug Jones is getting so much clout now from doing Shape of Water and now the Star Trek Discovery and all that stuff. He's finally getting the clout he deserves. Now would be the time to bring him back as Abe Sapien. And as we've seen from the cameo in the mid-credit scene of Far From Home, which again, if people haven't seen already, I'm not going to say it, but that cameo or future cast member that they brought back from something else, you can bring in the same actor to play the same part, and people will be a little more accepting. They aren't going to go, well, there's a multiverse now. Well, okay, some will, but it can be done if you bring back, if you have someone that's perfect in the role. Like, I don't want to see anybody else play Rorschach other than Jackie Earle Haley. I don't want to see uh, there's just other roles I don't want to see other people play, because when you find that someone, as much as I like some of the other people that play Punisher, John Bernthal is the perfect Punisher. It's going to be sad if somebody else plays him, right? Granted, I'll be accepting because I just want to see some more Punisher stuff, but there's just certain roles I want to see. Once you get it right the first time, you got it right. Don't change it. And if you brought back Doug Jones as Abe Sapien, people would love it. Let's see. Rob says, I heard that Palpatine was just going to be a hologram and it was there to freak people out and again subvert your expectations. Could be the case. It could just be an old hologram of him lying his way through some things and fooling some people, and who knows what they're going to do with him. I hope not, though. I mean, if you're going to bring him back, bring him back. Bryson says, It Chapter 2 coming out September 7th. Oh, yeah, Doctor Strange. Not so excited trailer is... do you mean Doctor Sleep? Not so excited trailers, man. I don't like the book at all. You must be Doctor Sleep. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that series. So yeah, the trailer really didn't do anything. If you're talking about Doctor Sleep, yeah, it didn't do much for me. But I am curious to see it at least. Bryce says Gemini Man is just going to be a mediocre Looper. Yeah, Looper was great. That's one I want to go back and watch. Yeah, Gemini Man, I'm curious about. I want it to work. Rob says Rian Johnson is a good director. I think Knives Out looks good. He has fudged up Star Wars with some help, and now he gets to fudge up a Star Wars trilogy still, apparently. I don't know if they're still doing that or not. Bill says, I'm digging the Rey clone theory. Thank you so much. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's thought of that, but that just popped up to me the other day. I was thinking of that mirror scene, and I'm just like, I wonder. And since I just played through The Force Unleashed 2 on the channel too, that got me thinking about it too. And I'm like, I wonder if they're going to steal because they've been taking bits and pieces from the books and the extended universe that doesn't exist anymore. They've been taking all the good stuff from it. And so I'm like, you haven't taken the clone Jedi thing yet. That would be a cool thing. Bryce says, can we just admit Will Smith does not have the star power he once had? After Earth, Winter's Tale, Collateral Beauty, Bright. He has stature seems diminished since 2013. Yeah, he doesn't have the same draw. I mean, he was one of the better parts of Suicide Squad, but he couldn't carry the movie. I didn't hate Bright as much as most people, but I get the dislike for it. I like the idea more than I like the movie itself. But yeah, Will Smith, he needs a big movie, I think, that works. But yeah, especially After Earth, man, I tore into that movie so much and had so much fun doing it. One of my favorite lines that I said in my review for that is, if this is how Earth evolved to kill humans, then the Earth is stupid, or then evolution is stupid. I had a good time ripping into that one. Let's see. Desiree says, well, they did say F it when it comes to this Star Wars. So they could just straight up go batshit crazy with this one. Hopefully they do something to make up for the stuff that didn't work in The Last Jedi. Because again, there was some great stuff in The Last Jedi. I'm really caught in the middle with that one. I didn't love it like some people. I didn't hate it like others. Like, well, there's some things I really loved and there's things I couldn't stand. So hopefully they do better. Bill says Force Ghost War. That'd be cool. Lance says, did anyone see that they dumped a Scream Resurrection series on VH1? What a shit show. That is a franchise that needs to start from scratch. Yeah, I guess that's supposedly the third. My buddy of mine at work watches that. He said it's the third season, but then they're bringing in the old Ghostface, and because I guess they weren't using the old Ghostface. I haven't seen the show. but he said that they're bringing in the new, uh, they're bringing in the new or the old mask and everything. Um, so I mean, he says he's a little happier with that they're bringing the original Ghostface. Um, so I don't know. Yeah, if they're gonna, they should do it from they should do a restart. Then again, they did with the Scream 4 movie. They talked about remakes and that you shouldn't mess with the original. Um, Bill says, Kylo Ren, I love you, Ray. I know. Ray cuts off Kylo's effing head. Are they also brother and sister? Let's see. Bryce says, at $200 per lightsaber at Galaxy's Edge, only the favorite child can get one. Disney doesn't need every child, only the one the parents like best. I heard that Galaxy's Edge wasn't doing very well, but that was from political articles, so it's hard to know what's what. Just keep that in mind. Joins us. I should make you pay to say that. I should really make you pay to say that. Didn't I say that last time when you wanted me to say that to your bird, that I would make you pay for it? No. Yes, Dusty is a beautiful bird. Paul says, will Disney do an R-rated Deadpool movie? Yes. Do I think it'll be Deadpool or it'll be X-Force? I think it'll be X-Force. Do I think Deadpool is going to show up in the MCU? That's a tough one. My problem with Deadpool in the MCU is he would be too distracting of a character. Him being the lead makes it to where the weird stuff he's saying works. Where if he's in the MCU, all of a sudden he breaks out a reference, like in the middle of an Avengers movie, it might throw the movie's tone off. It works in the comics, but I just don't feel like it works. I don't feel like it works in movie form unless it's his movie. Would I love to see him team up with a few people like Spider-Man, say? Yeah, I would. But I think Disney will. I mean, some of the movies that came out, like Stuber, it's technically an R-rated Disney movie. Yes, it was a Fox movie first, but I think what they'll do is, I think they're still going to use the Fox logo and stuff when it comes to some of this stuff. Not the Marvel stuff per se, but if Fox made something, with the Deadpool stuff, they'll use the Marvel logo. But yeah, I don't know. That's a really tough one because I think if they went backwards and made it PG-13, people wouldn't be too happy about it. So yeah, I do think Disney will do an R-rated Deadpool movie. Will you see the Disney logo? No. Rob says, but Dr. Sleep is being directed by Mike Flanagan, who did Haunting of Hill House and Annabelle Creation. I don't know. I'm not really invested in that story, but I want it to be good. I want all movies to be good. Bill says they resurrect Anakin Skywalker, proceeds to tell Kylo Ren he's very disappointed in him and Kylo sucks. Kylo runs off and cries. That's the end of the trilogy. There's rumors that Hayden Christensen's in that movie. Which, here's the thing: was his performance in the prequels bad? Yes. Was it more because there was bad direction and a bad script? I think so. I think you give Hayden Christensen the right script, he'd be okay. But yeah, I just don't put him in old man makeup. I honestly think we're going to see the Force ghost of Anakin Skywalker, and he's going to talk to Kylo Ren in this new movie. Let's see. Where was I? Lance says, yeah, and that was creepy as hell in the Dr. Sleep trailer when it showed that Cold who fed on people who have The Shining. He really dug that. I should preface that I've never read the novel, so I know nothing on that front. Yeah, I haven't read the books either. I've only seen The Shining. I don't love that movie. I appreciate that movie. I don't hate that movie. I appreciate it, but I don't I don't have this love for The Shining that everyone else does. So that's why Doctor Sleep doesn't really do anything for me. Again, I'm more excited about it when it comes to Stephen King projects. Um, Desiree says Abrams said this. It felt slightly more renegade. It felt slightly more like, F it. I'm gonna do the thing that feels right because it does, not because it adheres to something. Rise of Skywalker is literally an F it. He's doing whatever he wants. Yeah, well, I mean, Ryan Johnson got to do whatever he wanted. So I just hope they can kind of right the ship and make the fandom a little more happy again. Paul says, I really hope there's a new Fantastic Four movie. There was a rumor that there was a sign in Spider-Man Far From Home, and it was about the rebuilding of the Avengers Tower, and or whoever bought it or whatever, and the sign says 1, 2, 3, can't wait to see what's coming. And a lot of people think they're going to turn the Avengers Tower into the Fantastic Four's tower. I think we will at least get a tease for the Fantastic Four in the next few movies. I have a feeling. I really do. I really hope so, because I'd love to see a great Fantastic Four movie. Bryson says the only guy who can maybe pull off Deadpool in a separate Marvel movie is Taika Waititi. He has great humor, and he's going to direct the fourth Thor movie. Yeah, I heard about that. I was really surprised. And he dumped Akira to do it. I guess they Warner Brothers put Akira on indefinite hold, and they hope that Taika Waititi comes back. But he left it to do the next Thor movie. Hopefully it has more free reign than Ragnarok. The only thing I want to see in the next Thor movie is, look, I enjoyed some of the humor in Ragnarok, but I thought it got a little too silly at times. I would love to see a better balance between serious and humor. That's what I want to see. Other than that, I liked Ragnarok. Bill says George Lucas couldn't get a good performance out of Liam Neeson and Samuel Jackson. Well, Liam Neeson him and Ewan McGregor are probably the best parts of the first movie. Samuel Jackson just didn't get a lot to do. I mean, he sat there in a chair in the first movie. He got to fight a little bit in the next two, but that was about it. He didn't get to do anything. If you see the character of Mace Windu in the Clone Wars cartoon, he's fantastic. He's a great character, and I wish Samuel Jackson would have got to do some of that. Of course, Samuel Jackson doesn't think his character's dead. Of course, I mean, we've seen, Darth Maul get cut in half, and he was back alive, so why not? Lance says, I'm under the impression that there's one good movie if you combine the 3 prequels into one movie, and would have let a competent director steer the ship instead of Lucas. There was some YouTuber out there that did a series where he kind of rewrote the prequels. And I can't remember, it's been so long since I watched him. But he used like animations and stuff to kind of tell a new story, and he had some pretty good ideas. I wouldn't say they were perfect, but if you get a chance, look those up. Again, it was just like the prequels redone or something like that. And it took them a while to come out with all 3, but they were really good, and they had some good ideas. Yeah, there were some good ideas in the prequels. I mean, Darth Maul alone, what they did with him after he came back in the Clone Wars and in Rebels and in Solo, they did a lot of good stuff with Darth Maul after that. I mean, getting to see them use some of those characters in the extended universes helped. So there were good ideas in the prequels, but yeah, Lucas just basically got whatever he wanted because, well, it was his. So they were his toys, and he can play with them how he wants. Let's see. Desiree says, my glob, it's raining. Christ, happy tears. Bless the heavens, it's actually raining. Well, if you're leaving us to go dance in the rain, we'll see you later. Bryce says, Dwayne Johnson wants to be in Fantastic Four movie. To me, though, they are just boring superheroes. I have the same issue with Green Lantern. Fantastic Four can be interesting if you tell the right stories. That being said, the thing I'm more excited about with Fantastic Four being back is that we get Doctor Doom now. Doctor Doom better be brought in very soon. I'm really hoping this my big hope for Black Panther 2 is that uh we get a little skirmish between Latveria and Wakanda. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for Black Panther 2, and they can introduce Doctor Doom because I want Doctor Doom is probably the thing I want most. Maybe I mean there's a few other things I was excited that were getting it back for, but probably my top five Doctor Doom was in there, if not number one, for the things that they got through Fox. But yeah, if you tell the right stories for Green Lantern or Fantastic Four, they can work. Dwayne Johnson, of course, would. I mean, is he going to mocap the Thing? You know, that would be my guess. Of course, he's still supposed to be Black Adam, and I guess in the deleted scenes for Shazam, they showed the empty throne. And of course, in Shazam, they kind of teased him in animated form, even though it didn't look like The Rock. So if that's ever going to happen, I don't know. Lance says, yeah, Lucas squandered Qui-Gon Jinn, Mace Windu, Dooku, Darth Maul, and General Grievous. Those are characters that should have been ripe and rich to develop in the Star Wars film universe. Yes, and every single one of those characters got things to do in the animated universes. And even if it was just a little bit like Qui-Gon Jinn or a lot like Darth Maul, they all got extra stuff to do, and they were all great in the animated form, and yet we didn't get much to do with them in the movies. Rob says Mace Windu was like the black guy dies first. My ass took his one good arm and bailed light sped to a blue ball where he ended up becoming actor Samuel Jackson. Let's see. Lance says Doctor Doom origin film. I'm in. When it comes to Doctor Doom, I know a lot of people liked Michael Fassbender as Magneto, but that's who I want for Doctor Doom. I want Michael Fassbender. I want to see what Michael Fassbender can do behind the mask. I think it would be fantastic. Desiree says Mace Windu was lightning blast out of window. Nobody means could be alive. Always believed he was. Yeah, Sam Jackson thinks he's still alive. Who knows? Maybe he'll be a Force ghost, and we'll see if he's really alive or not in the new movie. I have a feeling we are going to see a lot of callbacks from the prequels and the original trilogy, what they can make happen anyway. I think they're going to do some magic and make, Obi-Wan appear, or they'll use Ian McGregor, which that's probably the more likely candidate. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of Force ghosts, and a lot of inspiration from the other movies, since this is supposedly the last big Star Wars trilogy. I know they're doing other Star Wars, but are they going to do more episodes? From what I understand, no. Let's see. Paul says Dr. Doom, Silver Surfer, and Galactus. See, I've been thinking about Galactus a lot. I don't know if they'll do Galactus. I think they will eventually, but it's going to be hard to make a Galactus as interesting. It's going to be hard to make him as interesting as they made, say, Thanos. But then again, see, I honestly would rather see Doctor Doom be the big bad of this new phase. But I don't know. I would love to finally see Galactus, but I mean, because I'd love to see him in his full glory and not be a cloud. But can they make it as interesting? I don't know. Let's see. Bryce says, I think a trilogy focusing on the Empire be interesting. Like, who are the admirals and why did they join? What are the motivations? Are Imperial troops once they're not clones? Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, during a cool story about the Empire, and I know it's more about just stormtroopers than anybody, but in the original Battlefront 2, not the EA ones, but the original one, the 501st story was actually really cool because they start off as clones, and then it's voiced by the dude that played Jango Fett and was the clone and all that stuff. And then he talked about when they started bringing in the new guys and things like that because it goes through the first 6 movies. It was really cool how they kind of handled it. You kind of got to see the perspective of the stormtrooper. So that was kind of cool. Bill says, wait, did they just change window to window? And Desiree says, I wouldn't doubt that, Bill. Bryce says, maybe Captain Phasma will be a Force ghost. Boy, was that character wasted just like Snoke. Disney is not done with the Star Wars villains. Yeah, okay, the Snoke one didn't bother me as much as the Phasma one. I love Gwendolyn Christie. I think she's a fantastic actress. And when I found out she was in The Force Awakens, I was really excited. And they did a little bit with her, but then she went down a trash compactor and that was it. They promised in The Last Jedi they were going to do a ton with her, and she had one fight and she died. And that really ticked me off. Now, there are some saying that she survived, which that would be awesome if somehow, I doubt it, but if she did survive the battle in The Last Jedi, but if she didn't, then they wasted Gwendolyn Christie, and that just kind of ticked me off. All right, guys, if you got anything else you want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat. I'm taking some suggestions for video games. I've got a few that I'm going to be playing for Gino's Bad at Games. If you haven't checked out my 7th Saga Revenge video, you can watch me be excited to be going through an adventure at the first, all the way to I am ready for this game to be done at the end. I played through the 7th Saga role-playing game, and I chopped it down in about 2.5 hours. It's definitely a very abbreviated look at the game. I tried to keep all the story elements in there, but a lot of the travel and battle, and I kind of cut out of there. But I was never so ready to be done with a game than I was that one. And I had to find different ways. Since it's revenge, I cheated my way through it. And I had to find many different ways to beat the system. And I finally did. So definitely check out that video. I'm looking into a few other games to play next. I've had a few suggestions to revisit some games and try them different ways. So I may do that too. The game that I played, that was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan game. That is fantastic. It's called Rescue Palooza. You have to download it fully, but it's worth it. It plays like the NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 game. But you get to play as so many different characters, and I've had a few people throw some challenges my way with that game. So, but I am looking for other suggestions of games to play. If I can get my hands on them, if they work right with the capturing system, whether they work right with my system, period. Some of the older games are a little hard to play. I've got a few ideas of what I want to play next, but I'm looking towards the future as well. Also, I mentioned earlier that I'm considering a Patreon. I'm looking for ideas for that for those that have just joined us. I'm just looking for ideas, but I don't want things like hiding videos behind a paywall because I'm not going to be doing that stuff. So let's go through. Oh, the chat's definitely filled up a little bit. Let's see. Where was I? Let's see. Bryce says, I guess maybe Disney doesn't want girls pretending to be stormtroopers. Only boys get to do that. Well, that was one thing they did in The Force Awakens. I mean, along with Captain Phasma, there was a few other times a stormtrooper would talk, and it was a woman, which I thought was a cool idea. I mean, why the heck not? But yeah, they're definitely pushing. We want them to be more like Rey. Definitely. Paul says, I think Namor needs an origin story. I have a feeling, I said I wanted Doctor Doom in Black Panther 2. I think Namor is going to be the villain of Black Panther 2, because in Endgame, where they mentioned that there was the earthquake under the water or whatever, I think they were teasing that was Namor. Um, or it could just be an earthquake under the water and we do nothing about it, as they say. Bill says, I kind of think the big bad in the MCU should be Shumagorath in the Cancerverse. In the comics, the fall opens up from too much energy and exposes the MCU to the Cancerverse. I don't know anything about that story. Um, yeah, I'm not sure where they're going to go. They got too many classic villains. Uh, a lot of people think since they messed with time travel, they're going to do Kang. That would be a cool one, I think. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Bryce says Gino played TIE Fighter from 1994. It's a really good game with a really interesting story about the Galactic Empire. It really shows Palpatine's palace. That's cool. I played a little bit of some of those games back in the day. I never finished any of them, though. I should. Maybe Good Old Games has that. Not the Chosen One joins us. Hey, what character from the Tick cartoon would you like to see in the ongoing series? They pretty much gave me who I wanted. Sea Urchin of the ones they haven't, or Deflator Mouse. That being said, they canceled it. They canceled the Amazon series not too long ago. After the second season was really good, they canceled it, which really ticked me off. No pun intended. But yeah, Sea Urchin or Deflator Mouse would be who I would have wanted to see, I think. I did like some of the new characters they came up with, though. Rob says, what games are available to you PC? I say Fallout 3, lots of stuff to do in those. My only problem with Fallout 3, I think it's first person, and I'm really not good at first person shooters. If I can go third person, then I might considering it. Yeah, PC is what I'm playing. I can't do anything on console right now. I'm looking at some easier games. I'm looking at some harder games because occasionally I like to play something I know my kids are going to want to watch. So I bought a couple of games they might like. I definitely have so many Disney Infinity games to get into. I bought Mad Max a long time ago. There's so many different games I've got the option to play. I think I know what's next, but I'm just making sure I do the right game I want to do. There's some games I want to do and then they don't work. And I wanted to do Splinter Cell Conviction, but when they ported it to the computer, they didn't port the controls right. So if you want to duck behind some cover, you have to hit the start button, and you can't fix it. So I was really mad about that. Desiree says Galactus could easily end up being the next big bad. I think it is. I think he is, but it would be an easy enough build up. Planets going poof at the end credits, gradually getting closer to Earth over several movies. Captain Marvel fighting Silver Surfer and failing, and he ends up on Earth where Mr. Fantastic attempts to build the machine meant to keep collecting. Yeah, I can see all that stuff. I have a feeling he is the next big bad, but unlike Thanos, who is a little more mobile and can go to different places easier. I mean, yeah, you got Silver Surfer and all that stuff too, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to save that one because they keep saying they're not going to do any more big Avengers movies. Yes, they are. They may not be as big. They may not be as universe ending as Endgame was, but they're going to get another Avengers movie in there sometime, I'm sure. But anyway, Rob says then Resident Evil 4. Yeah, that's not a bad one, dude. Part of me would rather go through the remakes of the 2 instead, but I don't remember if I even played 4. Yeah, I don't remember. Bill says basically in the Cancerverse, life grows unchecked by death, corrupts everything into eldritch underneath, kind of opposite of Thanos. Superhero Lovecraft. It's from the Thanos imperative. That sounds pretty interesting. I don't know if Disney would do that, but that does sound interesting, though. All right, guys. I think I'm going to end it for tonight. We've gone about 2 hours, so I think this is probably the longest one we've done. But yeah, I think I'll be in it now. I will check the chat here at the very end and finish those up. But thank you so much for joining me. Let's see. Desiree says, would you play a horror game like Fatal Frame or Silent Hill? Oh, don't make me play Silent Hill. The original Silent Hill with its fog really always messed with me. I think they remade it, didn't they? And it looked a lot better, but um, there was, yeah, I do want to play a horror game sometime. I got to find the right one. Silent Hill, I don't know if I'd do that one. Game with a great actor. Onimusha 3 as Jean Reno. Yeah, I've always wanted to play that one. I don't know if I can get it for computer, but I've always wanted to play that one because I knew he was in it. But anyway, yeah, I'm definitely throw some ideas my way and I'll look into all of them. Especially while the Steam summer sale's going on. I know there's some games, some one-offs I'm going to play too, but anyway, Rob says later, everyone time make reviews. Hey buddy, have a good time doing your stuff. And again, check out Rob's channel, Smirking Gun Reviews, if you haven't already. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end it now. I'm getting pretty tired and I got to be at work in a few hours. So hope you guys have had a good time. I have had a great time. My headache's feeling a little better, so there's always that. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll do another one of these in another 2 weeks. See you later.